Hi, everyone. I'm Joel Engardio. Today's conversation is with Vas Kinneris. Vas has a nickname. It's the Merchant Corridor Doctor. Vas diagnoses and helps fix problems facing small businesses. Now, he was busy before the coronavirus pandemic, and we can only imagine how busy he is now. Now, Vas, for 30 years, ran his own retail store, and now he's a part of a group called the San Francisco Council of District Merchant Associations. This is an umbrella group that services all the merchant groups throughout the city. And Vas helps them navigate and survive economic change. So welcome, Vas. Wow, your job could not be more relevant than today.
Wow, Joel, thank you for the intro. First of all, I want to thank you for having me. This is great. I love what you do. Congratulations. I'm a big fan of everything that you do. Thank you again. And thank you for highlighting the plight of small business, especially
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, your job could not be more relevant. I mean, you were busy before, and now
Right.
it's all hands on deck. Give me a sense, because we know small businesses were facing a lot of problems before the pandemic, things that you were
Sure.
working on. What were
Yeah.
some of your biggest concerns at the start of this year, before the pandemic, and do they pale in comparison to what's happening now, or are they still going to be with us as we get through the virus? Are they just going to be amplified? Just give us a landscape.
Yeah, I was a merchant for, close to 30 years. And before that, in fact, all my family is in small business. I grew up in the grocery store business. My father had grocery stores in the Mission and the Excelsior. So small business talk is part of our dinner table conversation. And that being said, small business owners are always complaining. There's always challenges, but there's always many, many successes. And that's why people choose to have a small business. I would say before the crisis hit, people were concerned with bureaucratic red tape, heavy taxes and fees, high rents, housing affordability, huge labor shortages, impossible to hire people, and street safety issues as well. Now things are it's almost a retail catastrophe. So much misinformation. People need clear, very practical information because a lot of us don't have the capacity to delve into all the resources that the city, the state, and the federal government is offering to the merchants. So, from the council's, our role now at the council has been more of an information aggregator. We've been supplying the merchants with pertinent, clear, very practical information, and really trying to give them guidance how to navigate the new normal.
And do you see a light at the end of the tunnel? And if so, the issues you were concerned about a few months ago, are they just amplified? Do they change? Like what will be the concerns of business owners 6 months from now, if once we hopefully get this pandemic under control, have a vaccine? What do you think happens?
Well, unfortunately, you can see what the present state of our merchant corridors looks like now. Many businesses are boarded up. In fact, on Fillmore Street, there are over 30 businesses that are boarded up. There was a survey done, and 47% of businesses said their business was down 100%. 100% of their business was gone. That means no revenue. So the challenge for merchants these days is to be creative, to try to create some sort of a revenue stream. So in addition to all the previous challenges that small business had, now we're going to be impacted with new social distancing, retail norms, new regulations from City Hall. So we're still in the midst of everything, but it's going to be a whole new retail landscape.
Yeah. There's a well-known small business owner named Ben Blyman, and he wrote an op-ed in the Chronicle recently, and he called for some pretty, well, they sound radical. I think there were things that business owners have wanted a long time, but he seemed to point out that, hey, now's the time for City Hall to really implement these ideas and just do a quick list. Fix the planning code that kind of prohibits and stifles entrepreneurs from their innovative ideas. Cut taxes and fees that crush small businesses. These are points that Ben made in his op-ed. Allow more chain stores. Stop punishing local businesses that are successful. Clean up the streets. You know, the mental health crisis, the homeless crisis, that's keeping customers away from merchant corridors. And then finally, he even noted, stop making music and performances illegal in cafes and restaurants. Unleash or get rid of these regulations so you can be more creative and draw people in. So I'm just wondering, these points that were made in this op-ed piece, can you comment on them? Are they needed? Will they work? What's the status of this?
Yeah, Ben and the other co-authors, amazing article, great op-ed piece. These are much needed changes for small business to thrive. This crisis is it's creating challenges to the small business environment. And it's also forcing businesses to create new efficiencies in their business models. And I am inspired by the amount of innovation that's coming out of this new environment. There are many, many pockets of opportunity. And it's really showing us, especially in the digital world, that companies that have a digital footprint to their business model are going to be one step ahead when we come out of this. So again, we're in the midst of everything. I think now's the time to talk about things that we could not talk about in the past, because again, in addition to all the previous challenges we have, we're going to have a whole set of new challenges as well. So all of Ben's points are totally valid. We need more innovation from City Hall, but I'm inspired by San Francisco because San Francisco is an open, innovative, collaborative environment, and that extends to our business environment as well. And because we're so collaborative, innovation is fostered from collaboration. So I really see a lot of positive relationships in the private-public world, and a lot of private companies are coming to help as well.
It'll be interesting to see those points that Ben Blyman made in his op-ed were things that I know a lot of small business owners were fighting for years, and it took a crisis or a pandemic to maybe wake everyone up to say, okay, let's implement these things. What I'm wondering though, if we do implement these points, help small business, are there more things we could do before the next crisis happens? Rather than waiting for crisis, maybe be more embracing of small business in the boom times, so to speak. That would be nice.
I've always believed that businesses need three things to thrive. They need maintenance, security, and marketing. Maintenance not only involves clean streets, but also accessing these corridors in a variety of different ways. And also maintenance from a legal point of view, from a City Hall point of view. If we can touch on those 3 points, I think that's a great environment for business to thrive. Small business is very important in San Francisco. We all know that the neighborhoods are the gems of San Francisco. It's what gives the character to the corridors. And we have 90,000 businesses in San Francisco. Half of them are considered small business. And 45,000 businesses employ 10 or less employees. And they employ 350,000 people. These businesses pay millions to city taxes, and they also generate billions of dollars in related services to the overall economy. So it's really important that we care for small business because it really is important. And there's a statistic that if we change our buying habits by just 1% to local shopping, that will create $100 million back to the local economy.
Oh, that's amazing. I always like to say, we can't live by apps alone. Like small business truly is the backbone of our local economy.
Oh, sure.
It's important.
And then, like small business, they're not just places of commerce. You don't just buy things from small business. That's where community meets. That's where you see your neighbor. You talk about more than just products when you go into a small business, So it's once you understand the entirety, and sometimes it's important to call all these things out because a lot of people forget the value of small business and our colorful merchant corridors.
Absolutely. And many of our merchant corridors have their own merchant associations. So I'm wondering, just to wrap things up, what is the purpose of this district council of merchant associations? Why do we need the umbrella group? What's your role? What's the role of this council? How does it tie everything together?
Yeah, so I've been the director of business development now. I've been with the council for 4 years. And my role is I help oversee membership, private public partnerships, sponsorships, and marketing. It is important to have a council. And by the way, this council is unique to San Francisco that I know. I don't know of any other council in any other city across the country. This year, we're celebrating our 70th anniversary. Um, and it's really important to harness the voice of small business. I know small business represents, there's a spectrum. There's a wide variety of small business. But if we can harness that voice, speak with one voice, advocate on behalf of small business and the merchant corridors on those 3 points, maintenance, security, and marketing, I think we're going to create a good, fertile business environment so businesses can thrive. And to your point, if we create this fertile ground, we will be able to weather the next storm as well.
Well, Voss, thank you so much for speaking with us today. You know, talking to you, I know we're in dire times, but talking to you gives me a sense of hope because I see that you're thinking through what we need in the moment, but also what we need in the future to make sure small business survives. So thank you so much for being here.
And then I just want to make one small point.
Yes.
During the crisis, many ways to keep supporting small business. Encourage others, your friends, to do takeout or delivery from your favorite restaurants. Buy gift certificates for yourself or for someone else. Shop online. And remember, we're all influencers in the marketplace. So post on your social media and use the hashtag SF Takeout Challenge.
That's awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Encourage your friends to take out.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Voss.